So, I got a message from Zen. You remember Admiral Zen? Shepard Voss Normandy. I've been digging through the Alarai, and I just wanted you to know that I did find a few things from the experiments that Rael Zora was conducting. Had you shared them with me, humanity might have reaped the benefits. Instead, once my own experiments are complete, you and your people will watch from a distance as the Quarian people reclaim not just their homeland, but the largest synthetic army in the galaxy. Rael Zora's death will not have been in vain. I will complete what he started. Cordially, Admiral Zen. Voss Moray. Daro Zen. Huh. That lady is insane. But anyway, enough with that psychopathic admiral. Let's just go down and talk to Thane. See how he's doing after helping out his son. Alright, let's see. How you doing, Thane?
Do you need something?
Have a few minutes to talk?
Very well. I had been recording a message for Kolyat.
How are things going with him?
It is difficult.
I'm sure
All
it is.
things worth keeping are. I
Yeah.
never explained. I
No, you
suppose
didn't.
the story of my wife's death took you by surprise.
Yeah, but I could wait. Yeah, I understood it. I mean, it's a personal thing.
I figured you'd explain to me when you were ready.
Yeah,
I appreciate your patience.
no
I
problem.
kept my work clear of our home life. I assumed that would be enough to protect Irika. That memory I mentioned before. Laser dot trembles on the target's skull. The smell of spice on a spring wind. Sunset eyes defiant in the scope.
Huh.
That was Irika. That was how I met her. She saw my targeting laser as she walked by and threw herself in the way.
Really? What was your reaction to that?
I guess she impressed you.
She woke
Yeah.
me up. Her body trembles. Not fear. Indignation. Her mouth moves. How dare you? You and I trained to sacrifice ourselves to save others. How often does a civilian step in the way of a bullet to protect someone they've never met? I
Not that
thought she was
often.
the goddess Hirashu.
Huh.
She met my eyes through the scope, and my purpose faltered.
So, how exactly did that lead to her becoming your wife and the mother of your son?
So how did she go from blocking your shot to having your children?
I had to meet her. The memory possessed and endowed me. I fell on my knees before her, begged her pardon. She introduced me to the world beyond my work. Eventually, she forgave me. Later, she loved me.
Huh. She may I guess what he's saying is that before that, all he was, or he considered himself, was just an assassin doing his job, but she brought him to a whole other area of life, and what exactly happened to her?
When you talked to Kolyat, you said she died.
I let myself become complacent. I thought Irika and Kolyat were safe. I stayed away too long, and my enemies came for her.
Who exactly?
Who came for her?
Batarians. A
Ah,
slave
of
ring
course.
preying on Hanar outer colonies. I
Wow.
killed their leaders. They paid the Shadow Broker to find out who I was.
Again with the
They
Shadow
were afraid
Broker.
of me, so they went after her.
Wow. Yeah, I cannot wait to go back and help out Liara take down this Shadow Broker. He has become more trouble than he's worth. So, man, Batarians, what a surprise. Go on.
You told Kolyat that you hunted her killers down.
Irika woke me up. When she passed, I returned to my battle sleep. My body hunted her killers, murdered them. I was taught to grant death quickly, cleanly, to minimize suffering. Them, I let them linger.
Huh. Well, I mean, you then start thinking to yourself, well, if these guys had murdered my wife, what would I have done? Would I have done the same thing? And you know what? There's actually I think about it, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the situation in the movie Law Abiding Citizen with, what's his name? Where his wife and daughter are murdered, and then he goes out and he just brutally just murders the guy who did it. And you think to yourself, there's a party that sympathizes with him because you go, man, it's hard to blame him. I mean, what wouldn't you want to do the same thing to someone who murdered your own family? So it's like there's a part of me that wants to do the I would have too answer. And then there's, yeah, I wouldn't tell your son that. But it's like, for this Shepard, he does want to help console him and try and help, you know. Thane's been through enough. Your body did that, not your soul.
You were operating on instinct. By your own rules, you can't blame you.
But I made the choice to hunt them. They're the only lives I've ever taken of my own choice. The only deaths on my own conscience.
Huh.
I haven't spoken about my wife, and I don't think I ever have. I didn't have anyone left to tell it to.
You're my crew. You're not just part of my crew, Thane. You're also my friend.
Thane, the worst thing is to face death with regrets. You're part of my crew, and I consider you a friend.
That's why I pretty much just said.
If there's anything I can help you with, just ask.
I've never been part of a team. Assassins tend to be solitary.
Yeah,
I'm
sure
learning
they
the
do.
virtues of facing death with others at your side.
Huh.
It's a work in progress.
I'm sure it is. Man, that's tough. Kasumi, do you have anything to say about some of the recent missions?
I was just thinking about you.
Aw, where are you now?
I'm glad to hear Thane and his son are back in touch. It'll be hard, but I think they'll be fine. I'm really glad you got Tali out of trouble with the migrant fleet. It's hard to see her upset. Gabby and Ken would make a great couple. I just doubt they'll ever realize it.
I completely agree on that. They would make a great couple, but they probably will never realize that. I think Gabby does, but I think Ken is... I don't think Ken realizes it. I honestly don't. Huh. Notice there that it changed her name to Talizora Vas Normandy rather than Vas Nima. It makes sense. I just think that's a cool little thing there. That it could have stayed the same, but they made it where once you do that, it changes. So it's pretty cool. Alright, let's see if Tali has anything to say. Before I do that, though, just to be safe.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
Have you got time to talk?
Sure. Let me just... Come on, you little bushtet! Oh, sorry. I've got a small fever and I'm taking it out on the poor drive core. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Got sloppy while doing some suit repair.
How sick are you?
You're sick? Do you need help or time to rest?
Should I get Jacquas?
Really, it's not that bad. If a stray bit of bacteria could really kill us, we'd have all died by now.
Huh.
The fever should go away in a day or two. Don't worry.
Okay.
It won't affect my performance on the mission. It's not even an illness, really.
Huh.
What we experience is actually an acute allergic reaction.
Huh. What exactly is your illness?
How did you get sick this time?
I took some fire in a fight back on the Alarai. Nothing serious, but I needed to open my suit to check the wound. I disinfected properly, but one of the section seals had taken some damage, and foreign matter got out of the disinfected zone. It was a stupid mistake. You always check your seals before doing local treatment. Unless you forget. Then you get a damn fever.
Section seals?
You can seal off part of your suit?
Right. Like dropping emergency doors on a ship during a hull breach. It won't stop an infection that gets into my bloodstream,
That's a
but
pretty
it
cool
prevents
suit.
a surface infection from spreading.
What are the specifics of the illness?
How exactly does the
Illnesses?
sickness work? It's an allergic reaction?
Right. Say I get exposed to a human disease, like, what did Navigator Presley have that time? Chickenpox? I wouldn't get chickenpox, but I'd run a fever as my system reacted to the foreign presence.
Okay.
Depending
So a
on
fever
where
is like
it
the
hits
default
me,
thing you
I
get?
could get other
Okay.
symptoms. Nausea, vomiting, everything
Ugh.
you'd expect from being sick.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Were your immune system stronger before the Geth drove you from your homeworld?
Not as strong as those of most races, definitely. I'm not a biologist, but there's a theory about it. Because our planet lacked insect life, plants developed symbiotic relationships with large animals to spread seeds or pollen. Most viruses on our world were partially beneficial, so our immune systems evolved to be weak. They were more likely to adapt to contamination than fight it.
What about other planets?
But Quarians colonized other worlds. They couldn't all have been like that.
They weren't. Most colonists went through a period of mild illness before adapting to the new environment. When the Geth took the homeworld in our colonies, the sterile environment on the flotilla ruined our immune system's adaptability. Even if we colonized a new world or reclaimed our own, we'd need a long process of bioengineering to recover.
Man, suited life does sound difficult.
I don't know if I could live inside a suit my whole life.
We are in our suits even among family. The most intimate thing we can do with another Quarian is link our suit environments.
Oh, like
We
your
get
mom
sick
and
at
aunt did
first, and then
when
we
you were born.
adapt. It's our most important gesture of trust, of acceptance. I haven't trusted anyone enough for that, though. Except, well, no Quarians. You know what I mean.
I could say I trust... Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, I would say I trust you too.
I appreciate the thought, Tally, and I feel the same way. But you don't have to prove anything to me.
I know. Well, not that I know, but I didn't mean it like that. It's wow, it's really hot in here. It's just that the tradition also signifies a willingness for, intimacy. I wasn't trying to... It's not always like that. It's more... how did we even end up talking about this?
Tally, are you making a pass at me?
Wait a minute. It sounds like you're suggesting something, Tally.
What could I possibly be suggesting? I mean, a young woman gets rescued by a dashing commander who lets her join his crew and then goes off to save the galaxy? How could she possibly develop any kind of interest in him?
Okay. So here is where you could possibly initiate a possible romance with Tally here in this game. Now, I don't recall if I said it before, but I was intending to stay loyal to Liara. And as I also mentioned before, my Shepard doesn't see Tally as someone he would want to have a romantic relationship with. He really has seen her the whole time as kind of this little sister type of figure that he just wants to be a big brother to and protect, and that she's been that kind of sweet, cute, adorable friend. And also, now I know that if you carry it out, like, nothing serious happens to her or anything, but also, he would be thinking also at the same time that he wouldn't want to risk her health for something like this, even where he's also, I don't want to say I'm not interested, that's just too mean, but he does care about her health too much that he wouldn't want to risk it. So I'm going to say it's too dangerous.
This mission will be risky enough. I can't jeopardize your health for that, no matter how much I'd like to.
But you'd like to? Good to know. Anyway, I should get back to work, but thanks for coming by and talking.
I'm not sure if that initiated or not. Well, I'll definitely find out after the next mission. After the next mission, I'm gonna check. I'll come down here, and if she says what I think she'll say about, related to the romance, then I'll have the option to say that it's too risky, and that would officially end it. So for now, I'll just leave that as it is, and see if that's enough. If that didn't initiate it. But if it did, I'll then go ahead and say, no, I'm sorry, Tally, it's too dangerous, too risky. Because he does want to, even though he, I pretty much just explained it, so you guys can understand. I know there are a lot of guys that do love the Tally romance. That's their favorite. But I honestly prefer the Liara romance. So my Shepard is intending to stay loyal to Liara, no matter what.
No messages for you, Commander.
Even though he cares for Tali a great deal.